Hi, this is Cheryl Gallant, your Conservative Member of Parliament for the peaceful protest respecting riding of Renfrew-Nipissing-Pembroke. Parliament has returned, and so has the radical left agenda. The Trudeau Liberals and NDP are teaming up to ram through legislation as quickly as possible. The problem for the Trudeau Liberals and radical left is that it is never enough. The Trudeau Liberals have imposed an ever-increasing carbon tax. They're imposing new fuel regulations in January that will cost you even more. The Liberals are even capping Canada's oil and gas industry. Except that's not enough for the radical left. Over the weekend at the Extinction Rebellion event, David Suzuki said that if the Trudeau Liberals don't do even more, pipelines will be bombed. What is it the radical far left want? What are their demands? According to Suzuki's Extinction Rebellion crowd, they want to reach net zero in the next 3 years. Now, if you go to the Extinction Rebellion website, you can read for yourself how they propose we reach net zero in 3 years. Their plan to reach net zero is to protest, to hold rallies, to gather in peace circles and talk about how they can block roads and bridges. That is their plan to get us to net zero in 3 years. Extinction Rebellion is just another fundraising vehicle to support the radical left-wing's professional protest crowd. And that is why nothing Trudeau says or does will ever be enough for so-called progressives. They will progressively demand more and more radical action because the goal is not reducing emissions. The goal is a utopian eco-justice collectivist fantasy. Net zero means net zero in your bank account. It's time for the Trudeau Liberals to wake up. They need to condemn clearly and unequivocally David Suzuki's intimated threats of bombings. They also need to clear the air with these activists and admit their climate emergency declarations are virtue signaling. If they can't or won't do that, then they should clear the air with Canadians about what emergency measures they plan to impose. This is what happens when you brainwash some people into thinking they will go extinct. This week, the Liberals lifted the ban on illegal border crossings. This is the ban the Liberals previously said would be impossible to impose before the pandemic. In 2018, the time for a refugee claim hearing increased by a third, up to 20 months. Let's be absolutely clear. No one is fleeing persecution and death from the United States. The Trudeau Liberals have prioritized illegal border crossers from the United States over helping legitimate refugees fleeing violence, terror, and oppression. There are still hundreds of Afghans with thousands of family members who supported Canadians over the last 20 years, from people who acted as translators for our soldiers to security guards for our charities. They're still being hunted by the Taliban, tortured, executed. The Trudeau Liberals abandoned them to focus on their fourth wave pandemic election. Now, if by some chance one of our Afghan allies is able to fly into Canada, they'll be told they have to go to the back of the line behind all those people fleeing from Joe Biden's land of the free and home of the brave. Speaking of America, it's been 2 years since the United States announced a ban on Huawei's involvement in the deployment of 5G infrastructure. It's been 3 years since Australia first banned them. For years, security experts Allied countries, the House of Commons, and Canadians have called on Justin Trudeau to take national security seriously and ban Huawei from Canada's 5G infrastructure. Instead of taking action and showing his leadership on this file, the Liberal government has procrastinated. All of Canada's Five Eyes allies have either banned or severely restricted the use of Huawei in their 5G infrastructure due to concerns such that technology could be used for espionage purposes and undermine our broader security and economic interests. Why has Trudeau already waited years with no sign of a decision in the near future? This lack of action by the Trudeau Liberals is an international embarrassment and has severe consequences for our national security, not to mention our critical relationships with our allies. Trudeau has to grow up and ban Huawei, not only from new equipment. While we're at it, he should remove all existing Huawei communication infrastructure. Only conservatives will put the interests of Canadians first, stand up for national security at home and around the world. For Liberals, Trudeau's interests always come first, especially if that means pitting Canadians against one another. Speaking of Liberals dividing Canadians, the Liberal whip was at his divisive best this week. During the election, many Canadians were upset over people protesting mandates outside of hospitals. Falling in the polls, Trudeau promised he would void the charter banning Canadians from protesting outside hospitals, doctors' offices, and Planned Parenthood clinics. Obviously, no one is protesting vaccine mandates outside of the Morgentaler Clinic. But the Liberals are putting abortion clinics in their new charter-busting law to spin more conspiracy theories about abortion. Were Conservatives to vote against Trudeau's first ban on protests, the Liberals and some of their media allies will claim Conservatives are anti-vaxxers and anti-choice. They will claim we do not care about doctors or nurses. How do you think the nurses' unions will like it when they learn they can't pick at their employers anymore? No one wants nurses, doctors, or patients harassed or shamed going in or out of a hospital. That's why it is already against the law to obstruct access. It is against the law to harass and assault people. But is a ban on protesting the solution? With a ban on protest precedent in place, what type of protest will be banned next? Let me know in the comments below. Live from Ottawa, this is Cheryl Gallant, wishing you a good night.